Welcome to the With Love Shelby podcast. I'm Shelby McMaster, and I'm so excited to be your host. If you are listening to this, just know I love you so freaking much, and I'm so freaking excited you're here. It has been a crazy few months. To be honest, it's been a crazy year. I can't believe that in just 2 months, it will be an entire year since I stepped away from nursing. And, some days I still can't believe that this is my life. I find it important to say that really, you can live your dreams if you want to. Pursuing your dreams is not necessarily easy. I'm learning, though, that abundance and wealth is easy and should be easy. It's just we have to be open to receiving it. And it makes me want to speak to my nervous system a year ago. To say it was absolutely shot is probably an understatement. I'm not sure that it ever I don't know when it ever reacted in a healthy way. I remember since I was young being on edge, right? So then when I went into a career where I was under a lot of stress often, how would I think that my nervous system could operate normally? My cortisol, my adrenaline was lit all the time. And so slowing down and doing something other than pediatric emergency bedside nursing has been a challenge. A real challenge, but a challenge that has also been totally worth it. I mean, if you told me a year ago that my life would look completely different in a year, well, I probably would have believed you. I probably would have believed you because I've always known that I was meant for something more. Something different. So, through alignment, I have been following my life's purpose. And I truly believe that is to share with you that you can transform your life. Listen, I was literally, let's back up. In 2018, my aunt died of a horrendous cancer, a lethal cancer. And, as a healthcare worker, I knew what was happening. I knew what was going on. And I knew that she was in a lot of pain. And that she was really staying strong for everyone else. Because that's who she was. My Aunt Sherry. She was the person I would run to when my life was falling apart. So when I lost her in 2018, after watching her suffer, I kind of went off the fucking rails. Off the fucking rails. I'll be 100% honest here. It started, I think, with just drinking regularly. I was around people that like to party. And that's not to say that I don't like to party, because I like to have a good time. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, most of the gatherings that I had with coworkers, we would get like blackout drunk. And me and alcohol really didn't jive. We really did not jive. It often ignited my abandonment wound and a lot of anger inside me. And I couldn't have told you that then because I really didn't know what was happening. So I was drinking more. I remember my anxiety just being off the charts because I also bought a house and started my master's degree in that same time period. And whew, that was hard. And so essentially, my nervous system wasn't ready to adjust to any of that, if I'm honest. And I got really depressed and I started shutting down. There were a few other really, really heavy external factors that I was dealing with, I would say between 2018, I would say 2020 to 2023. But one of the biggest ones was I was prescribed a large amount of Xanax for my anxiety. What that did was it ultimately made me numb. I couldn't feel anything. I could rarely cry. And to get to know me a little, I can cry at the smallest thing. I am a lover girl and I love love. I love people. I love animals. I love animals. Oh, do I love animals? It's not hard to make me cry. So not crying coulda, shoulda, woulda maybe been a sign to me that something was wrong, but it felt better. It was what my nervous system expected at that point because honestly, it couldn't even begin to process the fact that I'd lost one of the most important people in my life. Between the partying and my Xanax prescription, I became so depressed and I gained 65 pounds, 70 pounds over those few years. And I didn't feel good. I truly didn't want to be on the earth anymore. So many times from 2018 to, I would say 2023. So many times. And I didn't really feel like I had anywhere to go. So when you're looking for external validation or honestly even external support and it's not there, and you feel more alone and more numb, it was a what is the point kind of feeling. I don't know how it happened, but I do know how it happened. I was on my couch and I was literally sweating and freezing at the exact same time. I was rigering, honestly, shaking like a leaf. My heart was racing. It was going probably 180 beats per minute. And it was then that I was laying there withdrawing from my Xanax prescription. I cut myself off cold turkey. And that's an incredibly unsafe thing to do. So please always seek professional help if you are dealing with some type of substance. But I decided then that something had to change. I remember being on that couch and feeling like Anna in the second movie when she's like stuck in the ice cave and Olaf just disappeared and she thinks her sister isn't alive anymore. And it's just like one more step, one more time, like get up and go. So I call that my rock bottom, because it wasn't just about withdrawing from a medication. It was about the years that I lied to myself, telling myself that I was no good, telling myself that I was worthless, telling myself that I would never amount to anything, or that nothing was ever enough. Like always needing to just raise the bar and get another degree and get another certification to somehow prove that I'm worthy. And it was about learning to undo all of that. Learning how to transform is a skill. It's something that needs to be practiced. If you want to change your life, here are some tips that I would give you. I'm going to start out with a few basic ones. First, you're going to want to gain some awareness. You're going to want to look at yourself and see how you're showing up. How are you showing up with family? How are you showing up with friends? More importantly, how are you showing up with you? For you? Are you eating enough? Are you drinking enough? Are you keeping your hygiene up? All of those things are things that can make you feel crappy. So are you even seeing the negative habits that you have on a daily basis? Are you really able to look at yourself and see yourself for what you are? That was something that I struggled with for a very long time. It would make me very uncomfortable to actively see the role I played in relationships or in situations. So I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to be vulnerable enough with myself to say, okay, I see you've been doing that. That's not something that the highest version of you would want to do, Shelby. And so I started making different choices. By making different choices and then staying consistent with them. And I started making small changes. I would commit myself to doing my skincare twice a day, not going to bed without washing my makeup off. It seems small to many people, but it was a big deal to me because that commitment and consistency allowed me to start to trust myself. Self-trust is so imperative when you want to change your life. If you have have had just the negative voice in your head that's, you're ugly, you're fat, you're not smart enough, you're not skilled enough, you're not going to do that right. I see you. I've been there. Shoot, sometimes I still can be there, but you know what? Now I work to intervene with those thoughts. And that can be something that we talk about in a different episode. So you're going to become aware, then you're going to become accountable, and then you're going to empower yourself. What is a way that you can empower yourself? For me, it's through getting dressed daily in something that I find comfortable and chic and sexy. And it's putting my makeup on, not because I have to or I want to impress somebody, but because when I do, I feel like the highest version of myself. It's putting the hat on just because you want to put the hat on. You're empowering yourself, making yourself feel more confident. It's showing you that you can and you should love yourself because you're taking care of yourself. Next is nourishment. And we talked a little bit about this in awareness, but are you nourishing yourself? Are you filling your cup before you're emptying it? And to be honest, we shouldn't even be emptying it. Sometimes we get there. But what does anything tell you, like, hey, my cup is half full and I need to fill that up before I keep giving to others? Do you nourish yourself through self-care? Do you nourish yourself through nutrition? Do you nourish yourself through movement or through going outside? But you have to nourish yourself in order to transform. And when you start looking at these changes as devotions to yourself, everything will change. It's less of I don't want to do this, I'm too tired. It's, wow, I get to do this. I'm so thankful I get to wash my makeup off every night. That's how it feels when you start romanticizing it, when you make it something more than just a mundane task. When it's your devotion, when you're devoted to something, you want to be doing the work. You want to be showing up as your best self. And being devoted will allow you to transform your life. That is my Ascend framework. And that is how I'm going to begin and continue teaching you how you, whoever is listening to this, can change your life. So, the last thing that I want to talk about today is my rebrand. As you may know, you might remember, my podcast was previously named Too Delusional for the Group Chat. And I recognize that that name came from a version of me who's not here anymore. It came from a version of me who felt like the misfit and left out and misunderstood. And while those things are okay, they didn't sit well with me. You know, when I stepped away from nursing, I lost the majority of my nursing friends. I truly believe it's because I've leveled up in life, so I need to be surrounding myself with different people and situations and things that are more aligned. And that's great, but it still really hurt. And I think from that hurt, Too Delusional for the Group Chat was born. And I think it started because I was finding myself in some new relationships. You know, I started to network. I started to see that there is an entire world outside of nursing. But I feel like I came up with that name more in spite of the people who had been in my life and was no longer in my life. And I think that was because it was before I truly understood the concept of alignment, of you and another person being in a similar frequency, similar vibe. And that for me to start meeting people that have a similar frequency and good vibes like me I had to release a lot of people. And so, Too Delusional for the group chat absolutely served me to start and get my podcast rolling. And I'm so grateful for that era of my life, even though it was hard, very hard. Because everything that is challenging or hard that comes my way, it forces me to grow into a higher version of myself and embody the highest version of myself. And that's why I'm sitting here talking with you about whatever the fuck I want on my podcast. I want to help you learn to be more unapologetic. I want to help you to learn how to take care of yourself and how to choose yourself before everybody else. Because at the end of the day, the only person you have from the day you were born to the day you leave this earth is you. And you are valuable. You are worthy just for simply existing. So if you're with me, we're in an era where we're done proving. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about aligning with purpose. We're going to be doing it together this year, this coming year. 2026 is going to be the year of ascension. I'm ready for it. Are you? I want to just thank you again for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. If you can, please click the like button and follow me. And if you're on my podcast, please give me a rating if you thought I was great. If not, just scroll on by. But remember, you are important, you are loved, and you are so worthy. With love, Shelby.